Good morning, everyone. Another installment of Wellness Wednesday. I'm April Dupree with fitness and nutrition expert Mackie Showstone. We have little Vanilla Bean. She's going to work out with us and do a lot of these exercises. This is now week 2 of talking about some exercises that we can kind of modify or ease yourself into warming up your body so you can prevent injury and other things during your workouts. Or honestly, you can just do a lot of these if you just want to feel a little bit different if you're sitting down every day at an office chair. So we got a kettlebell, we have a foam roller, you have a yoga mat. We have Vanilla Bean. What are we doing? You got to teach us what we're doing, Mackie.
Well, we're going to take on one of the exercises that's been around for years. It's one of the most effective exercises for strengthening the back.
Okay.
But it can be done improperly very easily.
Gotcha.
And I asked my son Spencer, who is a corrective exercise specialist that spends more time behind the camera, to come in and design these 5 exercises over the weeks. And you saw the hip opener last week. This week, we're going to show you another variation, an easier one for the good morning exercise.
And look, we're on the morning show. That's proper.
Well,
good
that's
morning.
Right. So if you don't have a long stick, I just rolled up our yoga mat. I put it behind my back. Now notice where I have my hands.
All right.
I'm going to show you, and this is not the one that we're not targeting this, we're targeting the variation. But here's the way it's done. Slight bend in the knees,
okay.
Balance. I've got the pressure into my glutes. I'm going to hip hinge. I'm going to hinge at my hip. I'm going to look at you, and I'm going to go over parallel, 1001, 1002.
Wonderful.
And I'm going to exhale coming up.
Why don't you face the side, turn around, just so people can see just your posture.
Now notice right here. Notice here, I'm going to be balanced, so I've got stability. I'm leaning forward.
Perfect.
I'm looking ahead. 1001, 1002, come up, and I contract my abs. Now, there is a much easier way to do that, because the chance of you going down too far, leaning forward, is there.
Okay.
So let's put the corrective exercise spin in. Come on in, Spencer.
All right, we definitely want to see what that looks like. And again, as you guys saw, when Mackie faced the side, he didn't let those knees drip over his toes. So it's important to really be concentrating on your posture over anything. So he has a foam roller now. You can really find these at any sporting goods store. You can find them at your local grocery store sometimes as well. All right, so Spencer, what is Mackie doing right now?
Well, right now, he's just using a foam roller to keep his back in a neutral position.
Great.
Because a lot of times when you're going to do something like this, the good morning or just hinging, a lot of people tend to roll their back and curve it.
Makes sense.
And so when you have the foam roller and he's just going down and letting it roll down his legs, it's helping him maintain that neutral position, that straight spine. So he's just doing a good job of protecting his back.
Totally makes sense. And sometimes we just need a guide there to kind of remind us, like if you're doing a squat and you're sitting down in a chair, the chair is there to remind you that something is behind you and keep everything in alignment. So that's perfect. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if you don't have a foam roller, you could use anything that's similarly shaped that is firm enough. So now he has a kettlebell. So what are we doing with this? Because that's completely different. It's a little bit heavier.
So the kettlebell is adding a little bit of resistance to help him get a little bit of a deeper stretch, but it's also going to help him lock in his lats, protecting that spine and kind of just helping him engage his core just a little bit more. You can add weight and make this more of a strength exercise, but this is also a great way to get a stretch in the morning, hence good morning.
And perfect for the morning show. So tell us, guys, because I'm sure a lot of this feels easy at first, and then it can be a little bit more challenging as it goes on. How many reps, how many seconds should we hold? Tell us specifically what people should be aiming towards when they're doing this, because that's important.
Well, there's 2 different ways to do this. You could do it that dynamic way, where you go down, wait for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then come back up. And then there's something called a gravity stretch. You kind of just sit there for 30 to 120 seconds.
Okay.
And then you just let it stretch out in the back and your glutes.
Yeah.
And then you just come back up and do that just once.
Perfect. Okay, well, great. Y'all have options. And then again, we have options with what you can hold in order to be able to assist you. We know you got something to add, so what you got?
Well, I only want to add this because I was doing it and you might not have seen something. I paused at 1001 and 1002.
Yes.
I wanted to be able to exhale as I came up. Or remember, you have this thoracic pressure when you hold your breath going over.
Okay, that's very important.
Especially going over, you don't want to hold it long, because it can change your blood pressure.
Sure.
We don't want to make anyone lightheaded. So
Sounds good.
I just stayed down long enough, and then I came back up and exhaled all the way back up.
Perfect.
I stabilized so you didn't see me fall forward.
Yes. All right,
That's
guys.
the key.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. These exercises are amazing. Please visit maxwellnutrition.com and find everything. And of course, visit www.ltv.com and click on the health tab. Vanilla Bean and us, we'll see you next week.